So this is probably the most vulnerable post I will have ever made in the history of time. And for those of you who this little blue halo is already triggering you, I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna hopefully make you feel better, and I'm honestly having a weekly crash out. I need help from you as well. This is how much money I owe in student debt for my physician assistant degree. And before you go ahead and take out the phrase that is so commonly used, oh, but you knew how much you were taking out in the beginning. No, a lot of this has to do with interest alone.
No. That common phrase is common for a reason. Just like the common phrase 1 + 1 = 2 is common for a reason. Because it's true. You know you're supposed to pay the interest while you're in school. Come on now. You knew that. Oh, how are you supposed to have a job while being a physician's assistant? That's for you to figure out, not me. Why are you asking me the questions you were supposed to figure out when you signed up for it? But $200,000 for a physician's assistant that is payable, you can do it, honestly. The same way whoever put that ring on your finger was able to budget for that ring. Hopefully that ring isn't worth 3 months pay, like they say. A ring should be worth 3 months of what you make. Hopefully that ring isn't worth that much. Hopefully the wedding that y'all have isn't a crazy amount of money that you could be putting to that debt right here, which would be more valuable. I hope and pray that it is not you, because that is so common. But baby girl, you knew there was going to be interest. You knew that. Stop acting brand new and trying to blame the common phrase when you the problem. Pay your interest while in school. You know, when you sign up for these loans, I know specifically when you sign up for government loans, they actually force you to go through a course before they distribute the money for the loans. And in those courses that you have to take and be approved, after you take them, they question you, give you quizzes on the information they taught you. You then get the money for the loan. And in those courses, they teach you about interest. They teach you about everything that you need to know. They teach you about your principal balance. They teach you the fundamentals so you don't end up like this. Now, with private loans, they don't do it. But as a grown adult, you should have done your research before you signed up. Because a physician assistant, the way you get to that is either going through a master's or you become an EMT, a firefighter, and then you go back for 2 to 3 years of school from there. So at that point, you were either 22 and you have the internet, or you were older than 18 and you should have done your research before you signed up for all of this. Because don't try and play the victim now. I didn't know, this is interest. Stop being stupid.
Accruing while I am in a hell of a limbo of what we like to call administrative forbearance, trying to get into the SAVE plan. So I worked with a student loan counselor after I graduated, and I was told to consolidate all of my Direct Plus grad student loans to be one loan so that I could apply to the SAVE repayment plan. Right as soon as I started and submitted my application was when all of the chaos happened in the courts, where they just can't get their head out of their ass and figure out what they're doing. And so I never actually got into the SAVE plan. And so I have been accruing interest at a 7% rate. I've not had to pay my monthly payment. My monthly payment has been $0 because of a previous tax return when I was making $0 income as a student. But still, this amount is a literal noose around my neck. And I don't think I will ever pay this off.
Stop being so dramatic. A noose around your neck? As a physician's assistant, you're easily going to be making 6 figures. You're easily going to be making decent to good money depending on where you live and where you work. You're easily going to be making over $100,000. And so this noose that you're talking about being around your neck, you're just being too dramatic because you don't know how to budget your money. You went to a student loan counselor, and you went to this counselor, and not once did they tell you just pay your damn bill. Not once did they tell you, hey, while your payments are 0, pay the interest. What type of counselor did you go to? because this person didn't give you any good advice. This person failed you. You listened and did exactly what they said instead of doing what you were supposed to do, which was pay your damn bill. Terrible. It's the noose around my neck. No, it's not. Grow up, pay it off, and that's it.
I fear that I will not be able to ever own a home as someone still earning six figures salary, let alone children. I would love and aspire to have a child someday, but this really, really, I don't want to say like makes me suicidal, but like
You just said noose.
it truly makes it really hard to get out of bed every morning. And I know I'm not alone. I know I don't even have it that bad, but I'm truly asking as a cry for help, like how you compartmentalize the stress of something like this, knowing that you'll never, ever get out of debt, because it would take an act of God to take this amount away. And
That is so sad that she doesn't even think that she can do it. That's the first. You crying for help. The first thing you need to do is change your mindset. You're making six figures. You know what y'all need to do. You and whoever you're planning to get married with. And two, y'all need to lower y'all lifestyle. Y'all got car payments. This is for you watching too. You got car payments. Figure out a way to work on one car. Nope, don't fight me back on that. Just do what I'm telling you to do. That's the problem. You fight back too much. You're not willing to be uncomfortable. You was too comfortable getting in $200,000 of debt, and you unwilling to get uncomfortable to get yourself out of it. And so now you crying, you saying it's going to need an act of the Lord, all this foolishness, when what you need to do is buckle up, put in some extra shifts, get you a side job, do whatever you need to do to get rid of that debt. If that ring, how much is that ring? Get rid of the damn ring. How much is y'all wedding gonna be? 75,000. Take that 75,000, throw it on that 200,000 right there. How much is y'all car? How much are you paying each month in expenses? If you don't know how much you're paying every single month in expenses down to the last dollar, not cent but dollar, there is something wrong. You don't have no budget. So please stop talking about this stress, because there's people that have this amount of debt, but they got a liberal arts degree and a master's in liberated arts. So please, I'm tired of you. You actually can get yourself out of this. You just a victim from the beginning. You want somebody to save you. I want to be in the save plan. It's going to take an act of the Lord, but ain't ever pray. I know you don't pray.
And people repay the principal loan multiple times over in situations like me, but they never get rid of their debt because of the system at hand. And that is what is so fucked.
No, it's because you are uneducated. You paying it multiple times over. You know you do that with your house as well. You're going to pay, if you get a 30-year mortgage, you're going to end up paying your house over 3 times as much as the house was worth. Did you know that? What do you think you're paying with this car loan, in these car notes? How much you think you paying at the end of the term? How, like, come on. And people never bring their car loan and pay their car off. What they end up doing is just rolling it over into the next car. So you end up paying for a car for the rest of your life. What is you talking about? You want to know how you can pay that off, and why so many people end up paying their student loans forever but never pay it off, is because they keep making the minimum payments. Don't make the minimum payments. Pay as much as you can. Pay $5,000 a month. You make 6 figures, up your skill level. Go get certified. Open your own practice. Do something to up your income. Pay $5,000 a month. I bet you get rid of it before you die.
About student loans for people in advanced degrees like doctor, nurse, anesthetist, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. What else can I think of? Any degree program that takes multiple, loans and at least 6 figures to take out to go to these programs. And I did this to get a better life for myself, get a salary that actually amounted to something for my future family. And yet this is what happened. And a lot of it wasn't even the fault of my own, because I had no way of predicting that this would happen. Had no way of knowing that SAVE would not be around in the future. PSLF is my only option. I do work at a 501c3, but even then, the payment is like pushing almost $1,000 a month. And that will soon become even unaffordable for me. So
What?
yeah, I'm literally out of
You're making six figures and you cannot afford $1,000 per month. Where is your money going? Where is your money going? Do you live in California? Do you live in New York? Where do you live that your money is gone once it hits your account and you can't afford $1,000? And she said, soon I won't be able to afford that. What is happening that you cannot afford $1,000? Where is your money going? To that mortgage? Okay, that means you have too much house. What is going on? Where is your money going if it's not going to the loans? What are you doing? She has only been a victim, and that's why she can't win. And this is gonna reflect in other parts of her life. Oh, why is it always me? Why does stuff always happen to me? Oh, I just have bad luck. This victim mindset is why you where you are. She said, oh, I couldn't have predicted this. You know what you could have done? Got the calculator out, added up how much all your loans were gonna be, and at least you would have an idea then. And you didn't plan on paying it then. Because you would have been making payments, your payments still would have been high. You still would have been in the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. If you're talking about, I wouldn't have known. When I took out loans, I knew exactly how much I was going to have. I knew that I needed to pay for the interest. And how did I know this at 18? Because I looked it up. I looked it up. I used my brain. And you're a physician assistant. You are very smart because you finished. That is a hard program. You easily could have figured this out if you just spent some time and looked it up. Whoever your advisors, your counselors were, they failed you when they didn't give you the proper information. And whoever helped you develop this victim mindset failed you because you can make it out, but you can't do it with that mindset.
loss.
I just spent like an hour trying to figure out student loan forgiveness. I'm a teacher. I want to get the 5-year loan forgiveness. That's my goal. I am a special ed teacher. I have worked in low income and behavioral settings. I have 2 more years to go until all of my loans could be wiped clear, and that was always my goal. I was trying to call different places. I called the Department of Education. I called my local education, like regional office, and I called my state office. The most helpful was actually the Department of Education. The lady was phenomenal. And I could tell that she felt so bad. We were literally, okay, so we go on to the student loan thing, right? And we're looking at the requirements for the teacher loan forgiveness. I should meet all the requirements. I am a special ed teacher. I work in a high needs area. Like, all of it should be good. Then there's this thing that you can search your school just to like double check. I have searched the school in the past. My schools have checked out. But I was like, you know what, let's double check before I switch out of the SAVE program. We go to double check. There are no schools for Illinois in the drop down thing. Then we start to get some schools when we go back to like 22 to 23. You get like 3 schools in Chicago, 1 school in Rockford, 1 school in Aurora. You mean to tell me that there's no more than 1 school in Rockford and Aurora that are high needs and only 3 schools in Chicago? There's no other schools. And so her and I both were like, this is really weird. Maybe the system's not updating. She's like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I wish there was more that I could do. She said, here's somebody that like, it says on my end, this is all I can see, but try to call these people. So that's when I called the Illinois Department of Education. They were like, yeah, we can't do anything for you. The best we can do is give you this email. I said, well, I already emailed them. Do you know like how long it takes to get back? No. Okay. Well, you do know that they gave us less than a 30-day notice for this. Is there anything you can do? No. Okay. So that's how it's going. Just if anybody wants to know.
Brandon Johnson. Unfortunately, I feel bad for you because based off your research, you did everything right. But you kept saying the word should and could. You weren't definitive. So I didn't like that. That's a little iffy. But I'm going to go with your information here. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, former history teacher, awful pick for a mayor. And it sounds like he has done y'all dirty. And I think Chicago is going to be in a deficit, a budget deficit of over $700 million just for their school system. So, ma'am, I feel bad for you because you did everything right. You're doing a job that is here to serve the children, our future, special ed, education. Oh my goodness gracious. You were going through a lot of stress. You were going through everything. And just to come and find out years later after you have done everything that you were advised to do, you call up your local Illinois education department and they telling you no, we can't help you. Send them an email. We don't know. It's sad to see that. See, I feel bad for her. But you know what you got to do? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Pay that money off. You still signed up for it. And sometimes plans fail. You know what else you could do? You can go on Wheel of Fortune and try and get some money. I'm just trying to put out ideas. But you need to just pay that money off, for real. Waiting on somebody to save you never works because Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, they're all fake. Waiting for somebody to save you is never the answer to any problem. Do it yourself. If you ever want something done right, do it yourself. And so you tried to do everything right. You relied on a lot of people, a lot of departments, a lot of changes, not only in the state of Illinois, but of course in our country and our political climate, and you have been failed, and your plan is no longer valid. So now you need to pull yourself up, pay that money off, figure it out, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, you're going to have to find you a second job if you can't afford it. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I'm not here to be nice and be friendly. I'm just here to say what needs to be said. Some of y'all need to pick up second, third jobs. Stop trying to worry about leisure time and enjoying yourself. You need to pay this off and grow up. That's really what it is. Nobody's coming to save you unless you plan on hitting the lottery.
I'm so confused by y'all's student loans in the comments of other people's videos. And this video is probably going to end up on the side of the TikTok that I don't want it to end up on. For the record, I am not in denial. I know that I have to pay my student loan back. That's fine. I'm fine with it. Please don't come into the comments being like, you shouldn't have taken out a loan if you didn't want to pay it back. I'm fine with paying it back. Jesus. I'm confused with people saying, I took out $28K, I paid $36K, and I still have 40-some K left to go. How? I did like a loan simulator for mine, and as long as I pay my balance every month, it should be paid off in 10 years. Which, like, that's a really long time. I'm gonna end up paying more than like the minimum payment or whatever to make sure that it's actually gone. Like, it'll realistically be gone in probably like a year or two. But, like, what do you mean? You now owe more than you took out after you already paid the amount that you took out plus some. Did you miss payment? Did you just like pay on it for a long time? Did you not know your payment started and like the interest, you know? Like, what do you mean? Is there something you don't know?
If you are a student loan borrower.
Thank you. They did miss payments. They didn't pay. They didn't pay the interest. They allowed it to accrue. They have been paying $25. They've been making the payments they want. They haven't been making the payment that they were supposed to make. They've been $25 here, $50 here. Oh, I'm not going to pay the loans. I'm about to go to Aruba. That's what these people have been doing. So she is completely correct. And some people have had to learn this the hard way by getting their wages garnished. But to close this video out, my last words is, I think the physician assistant brought up one good point throughout the whole thing, and that school should not cost that much for people that we need to fill the roles of being doctors, physician's assistants, nurses, specialized doctors, OTs, occupational therapists, physical therapists. Just, they need to triple the loans for chiropractors. That's not even a real doctor. They be killing people and disabling them. So they need to cut that practice for good. But we need these people, and we should be incentivizing them to pursue these careers. Especially, they're investing 12 to 16 years of their life. Social life gone. So much investment. And they also got to pay back $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in loans and start families, which they had to delay and begin their lives, all the stress that they have to recover from and the stress they are now about to accrue, and then they have to be residents and get paid $7 per hour. Like, come on now, we really need to fix this system for those degrees specifically. And in general, degrees are too expensive, except for chiropractors. They need to raise those by quadruple, 10x it. I'll protest for that. But other than that, if you find yourself being a victim and having the victim mentality that everything is your fault, I mean, everything is not your fault, somebody else needs to save you, somebody needs to wipe your debt for you, you are mistaken. And you are going to not only fail to pay your student loans back, but you are going to fail in other areas of your life. So I hope you get yourself together, realize you took out the loans, get some financial discipline, improve your the same way you sit around and scroll on TikTok. I need you to spend that time reading a book on how you can improve your financial status. If you don't want to read a book, go hit up Caleb Hammer and have him give you a financial audit. Do something to take your financial status into your own hands, your financial future. Put it in your own hands instead of worrying and putting that burden on somebody else. Because when they choose not to take care of it, it's still on you to pay. Please get your finances in order, because you will be getting your wages garnished. Guys, let me know down in the comments, how much do you have in student loans? Are you debt free? Did you go to trade school? What did you major in? Make sure you hit that subscribe and that like button. I'm out of here. Peace.